Welcome to another episode of Can You Reach That?
Can you reach that?
What's going on with you, man?
Chilling.
Chilling. That's right.
GIF or GIF?
You're going right in on that?
Right in. I'm going straight into it.
So you're talking about some little graphic interchange format files?
Yes. Is it GIF or GIF?
Well, do you want my opinion or do you want what's supposedly real?
Give me both.
So I think his name is Steve Wilhite, if I'm not mistaken. He invented the file format at CompuServe. And
you really know a lot about this.
And he says that it's GIF. Now,
I think
me personally, it's GIF all day. It's grammatically, it's GIF.
It's GIF. Yeah, it makes sense to be GIF.
If it was GIF, it would be a J, and it would be similar to a brand name that we were well familiar
Yeah,
with.
peanut butter.
It's peanut butter. It's GIF.
It's stupid. It's GIF. It's a graphic graphic GIF.
Yeah, graphic starts with a G.
It's not a graphic.
Yeah, so it's
Jurassic Park.
It's GIF. Like that app called Giphy, not Jiffy.
Not Jiffy.
Because Jiffy would be, once again, peanut butter. And with that, hit the commercials, man.
He said the commercials.
Hey, man, after these messages,
we'll be right back.
Can you reach that?
You see that?
Let's talk about it. Read that.
Believe that.
Let the people know that you see that.
And what they want to know.
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Now you're home. Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Cool.
Can you reach that?
Can't forget Jiffy Lube either.
Oh, right.
Oh no,
Yeah,
my
see?
bad. Giffy Lube.
Giphy. Well, no, that's a J, so it's Jiffy. That's Jiffy Lube because it's a J.
It's the Giffy Lube.
So, but yeah, no, the file format, I don't care what anybody says. The fact that the acronym starts with graphic means it's
yeah,
GIF.
it should be
it's
GIF.
Yeah,
I agree. Maybe
Yeah.
he's just trying to be different.
It's funny how you joined in on the melody of the commercial thing.
Come
too.
on, man. That's
Hey,
like
that always hits me like childhood. You know, those catchy jingles.
yeah. They don't do commercials like they used to. Like when I think of all the commercials back then, one of the first ones that comes to mind is Boys Market. You remember that one?
Which one is that?
It was like Boys Market. It's everyone's
Right.
favorite store.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Many.
It's so many that just there's commercials that become earworms. And I can trigger one right now. J.G. Wentworth
877 cash now. Yeah, that's
So,
definitely one.
You can't if you hear that when you're getting ready in the morning, you're gonna have it in your head all day, and it's annoying.
I got one.
but I get the marketing.
I am JJ. I am the owner. And I am the king of beepers.
So the the beepers. Remember Crazy Gideon?
Crazy Gideon. Which one?
That was the one that did all the electronics in downtown LA.
I don't remember that
I'm
one.
crazy, slashing the prices. Then he started throwing stuff.
I barely remember
Oh yeah, so that
one.
was one. That was Federated. You don't remember those? Dang, you don't remember Federated? Federated started using the max headroom.
Nah, bro,
Dang,
where was
see?
I at?
I don't know, man. All right, I got one. Pussy cow.
Pussy cow. Like I never heard pussy cow.
Hey, like more than half the population, that's what they interpreted it as, and it was go see cow
Yeah.
for Cal Worthington. But
And
everyone thought it
and
was some sort of play on words and jokes because he was always on the back of a cow or a tiger or some sort of animal.
Elephant. Yeah.
So it was like, hey, this is a play on words. So it's instead of a pussy cat, it's a pussy cat. Everybody just thought it,
Cal Worthington and his dog Spot,
right. And that's
who wasn't even a dog.
I mean, and that goes along the lines with the Cadbury Bunny, who clucked like a chicken. So you just with all those commercials around the same time, you just assumed he was saying pussy cow, and you could go, hey, go if you don't know what we're talking about, because I know that was a West Coast thing, Cali thing. Go YouTube video Cal Worthington Ford commercials and listen to the jingle. It doesn't matter which one comes up; it's the same jingle on every episode, on every commercial. But yeah, a lot of people thought that was pussy cow.
Cal Worthington was the Ford guy.
So,
man, another one. You remember those? You remember those St. Ides commercials?
St. Ides commercials.
Just hit the corner store.
You have there was the Pac and
Snoop. Yeah, there was a lot. They did a lot.
There was a Wu one. There was
Wu-Tang had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of them. But that one right there was my go-to, the fucking Warren G and Nate Dogg.
Was it because the marketing was targeted a certain type of way?
I mean, when you put it like that, talk about
Because realistically, growing up, so I did try St. Ides. I was able to get it near where I was. There's a couple spots in Culver City, even maybe when I
probably a little early.
Yeah, but if you went to like Santa Monica or you
Couldn't find it out
weren't getting
there.
it. You were getting a certain, it was targeted.
You had to get the Boone's Farm
and it wasn't
out
even
there.
in Culver City everywhere. You had to go to a certain stores.
Yeah, close to the high school.
So right.
Ironically,
right. So, saying that, but those commercials were. Matter of fact, there's a connection that a lot of people don't know. There was a Biggie St. Ides commercial.
I don't think. Nah, I didn't know.
So there was a Biggie one, and the beat used on that one was produced by DJ Pooh. And if you go listen to it, you'll know the beat. You'll know the beat. Very familiar.
What beat is it?
It's a Dog Pound song. Dog Pound and Snoop Dogg. New York, big city of
That's
dreams.
the beat
and
that
every day in New York ain't no is what it seems. Yeah, that beat that DJ Pooh produced is the beat that Notorious B.I.G. raps over in his St. Ides commercial.
So which came? I'm guessing the commercial came first, and then
I believe the commercial was first, and then
because that was a diss track.
I feel like that was I don't know the story. I mean, I would love to get maybe Pooh or somebody that maybe know. I'd love to talk, but I don't know if that was the reasoning behind the New York, because obviously tensions West Coast, East Coast at that time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was the idea, like, oh, let's grab that St. Ides beat. Pooh did it. It's a West Coast beat.
Right.
So I don't know if that was intentional, or if they just heard the beat and was like, oh, let's, and they came up with the track.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was any motives behind it, but that is, either way, that's the beat.
That's crazy.
That's the beat.
And it's tripping me out now how many times we've done it, because now I'm thinking about Hit 'Em Up using Junior Mafia Get Money remix beat.
Right.
Man, that's wild. I didn't know that though. I didn't realize that was the beat for Biggie.
Yeah. The St. Ides commercial,
which makes it even a doper song.
So and Big rapped over it. I mean, and it's crazy because if you go listen to that,
yeah,
and you go think about if there was no West Coast East Coast tensions, right? Let's say
that could have
been
a feature.
That could have been a remix. Like they could have thrown not necessarily that verse, but you could hear Big rapping on it, and you could hear him doing like a little collab. But that's a little connection, and I don't know how much the Big St. Ides commercial aired out here and on the West. But yeah, that's.
So then I'm wondering, did they see our commercials out there, or were they insightful enough to have like regional commercials
based
for
on
those
who was,
areas?
who was on the video?
These artists are West Coast, so we're just going to show these commercials on the West Coast.
Could be.
That'll be interesting. So, now I want to go on a deep dive and look for some St. Ides commercials, see if they got some in like Midwest or something. The Dirty South St. Ides commercials.
And it's a trip. If you've never heard the big one, if you never heard B.I.G.,
I'm gonna look that up.
It's a trip when you hear him rapping on that beat because your brain is so tuned to the Dog Pound.
Yeah.
So when the beat comes on, you're already visioning what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
And then obviously Biggie start rapping, and and it's cool. There's nothing wrong with it, but it gives you that like oh this is weird. This is weird because this is not what my brain wants to hear.
That's the trip.
So, but yeah, that's a thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the music biz, right? You never know. I mean, it's kind of like sampling, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's a trip when you hear a beat that's sampled from something that's it's crazy when you find ones out that are kind of hidden and tucked away, and you're like, oh, and it kind of like, oh, I didn't know, like that's crazy.
Yeah,
but it's the ones that you hear sometimes where it's like, oh, that's
obvious. Yeah,
that's that. Like I Dream of Jeannie. Obviously, Will Smith used it, right? Parents don't understand,
right?
But then later on, Timbaland used it with I'm trying to remember the name of the track with Mad Skills.
It was on that Under Construction, right? Or
I think it was on Tim's bio.
I
think it was on Tim's bio.
I do remember. Tim did a couple because he did Spider-Man. Didn't he do a Spider-Man joint?
Yeah. Here we go. So wave your hand. It's Missy Maganu and Timbaland. Yeah.
He did Knight Rider.
Did the Night Rider, which Busta also did.
Sardines and Pork and Beans. Busta did too.
Busta did.
That's
the
right.
Night
Rider,
Fired Up.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
Yeah, TV shows were definitely an inspiration.
I want to hear
for
them all
some
now.
spots.
Somebody needs to go through, find all the sitcoms of like the 70s and the 80s, and make.
I feel like there's a lot. I mean, I know Super Friends was used for some stuff, and I mean, there's a lot. I mean, even video games, right? We talked about the Woo track that used the video game, and
Flip hat Pac-Man.
if I'm not entirely mistaken, I think there's a Beanie Siegel song that uses Pac-Man. If I'm not mistaken,
I don't
the
remember
crunching. Yeah. So I think that if I'm not, I think it was Beanie Siegel that used that in a track, or he was featured on it or something.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, there's a lot of artists out there, sampling, pulling stuff. Beanie Siegel, man, that'd be a dope.
I heard he is working on the new album.
Yes.
With the help of AI.
Yes.
To help give him his I don't know how you want to describe it, his old voice
his
back.
His old voice, yeah. Yeah, there was a interview I saw as well with DOC.
Another one, yeah, he's another one that was doing it.
Yeah, and they were talking about using AI to kind of,
yeah,
because it's a trip, because they're able to use his old vocals, put it into AI, and then AI can then spit out the new lyrics that's inputted to it, and you can still drive the cadences. It's crazy, like it's crazy.
Yeah. It's a trip too, because there's so much fear behind technology and AI, how it's going to ruin the industry, and it's going to ruin movies, and it's going to ruin music, and yada yada yada. But at the same time, like, it's nice to see actual artists using it as the way I feel like should be used, as an assistant.
I think
to help and not to replace.
I think it is a gift and a curse. I think in instances like that, DOC is dope. I mean, lyrically, I mean, his pen game is crazy. But I don't know how he, as far as like if there's an insecurity with his voice now. I don't know if it's that or what it is, but using AI in that instance, I think is phenomenal, because it's not like the dude can't put together rhymes. I mean, he's got that gift. So being able to do it and then throw it out there with AI giving him his voice back, I think that's dope. And he could probably come up with ways to use his current voice with that, and do some layering, and but I think it's dope. But then at the same time, do you want to be able to use AI to grab deceased artists from the past, like you're
like Michael Jackson putting out new music?
Yeah, next thing you know, you've got Michael Jackson on on Lil Yachty tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're using AI, and it's like,
or Pac, because he has so much shit written down. Like, we can make a bunch of Pac music.
I mean, from what I heard, he has a ton of stuff still recorded that we haven't heard.
Yeah,
like old recordings.
I imagine Prince too.
Like, I feel like repurposing old recordings and making new songs, that I'm cool with that. But as far as creating something new, like especially if the subject matter is modern, I don't know how I quite feel about that yet, because it's like you're forcing something that maybe that person wasn't necessarily willing to do.
Like Tupac on a diss track.
Well, I mean, my thing is what if the content that's created using AI for, like, say, Pac, right?
Yeah.
Is something that he never
would have
rapped about or never would have said, right? Now you're just kind of inferring that this is what would he, if he was alive now, and I don't know, I feel some type of way about that. Like, you're now you're using his skill set via AI to push another narrative that maybe he wasn't wouldn't have been with, because you just don't know.
Literally putting words in his mouth.
So for that matter, I'm kind of not okay. But as far as what Beanie wants to do in DOC, that's kind of dope. That's kind of dope. I can see that, and I can see it for restoral purposes. Like, if you have old analog, tapes that have withered or unrecoverable,
right? To remaster.
If you're gonna remaster it, and you can connect those dots, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
With that too.
That'll be dope. But yeah, a whole AI artist. Have you seen those? Like, yeah, that's too much.
I don't know if I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm not. I feel like I'm pretty progressive thinking, but I don't know if I'm there.
Nah, that's too. Because then I feel
like there's no genuine.
Yeah.
There's no feeling. There's no emotion. It's
all forced. It's all.
Yeah.
It's all artificial.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. So yeah, I mean, it's a trip how it's being used, but
Like you said, it's gift and a curse.
I love It's a Trip because, in the last few months, LL dropped an album, Cube's dropped an album, Snoop's dropped an album, Redman dropped a banger album.
Banger.
Um,
Eastsiders.
Eastsiders got an album, and Clips are coming with their album. It's crazy how like the late '90s, early 2000s, vibe is starting to like make its way back onto the scene,
Yeah.
and it's cool because you know rock and roll, R&B for that matter, blues,
Yeah.
any other genre, there's artists 60 something, 70 something, 80 something, you know what I'm saying? Like still out there doing their stuff.
I mean, it's a little different, or at least I don't keep up on rock music or anything like that, but I feel like they're performing their old music. I don't think that they're making new music.
Some of those bands come out with new albums, man. Some of them do. So
I'm sleeping then.
But
no, it's dope. It's dope to see new music coming from people from our generation. I
saw, and speaking of R&B, I saw Jagged Edge got an album coming.
Really?
So
you know on what label?
I don't know. I don't know if they're So Def anymore. I
don't think
I want to say no, but I don't know. But yeah. Jagged Edge. I mean, real R&B is rough now. It's like it's all manufactured for that matter. It's auto tune and all that stuff. So like hearing some actual singers is kind of dope.
True.
So,
but I mean, a lot of R&B artists was raised on gangster rap. So what do you expect? Unlike R&B artists of our time were raised on like Motown.
Right.
There was actually love song and love ballads and Marvin Gaye and Al Green and stuff like that. Like they have R. Kelly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
What do you expect to get from that?
I don't know if it's my corrupted brain, but with what we know of R. Kelly. All right, so the real fact, that dude's voice probably had some of the craziest range out of any singer we had.
The voice of an angel.
Probably one of the best singers of our time.
Voice of an angel.
His actions outside that, I say outside the studio, but maybe some of that happened inside the studio. Aside.
Yeah.
I mean, every time anything gets mentioned about R. Kelly or I hear R. Kelly, and again, this is my smart-ass sense of humor. This is just, I go right back to the Chappelle Show.
Mm-hmm. Chip.
I'm going to pee. And I love the fact that that Chappelle was like, I seen him, and he was like, man, how you gonna make a song about me pissing? And he was like, man, how you gonna make a video about me pissing? Like he asked Chappelle, apparently, I don't know if that's real. It could have been probably.
Yeah.
But he asked him, well, how you gonna make a video about me pissing on women? And Chappelle turned, how you gonna make a video about you pissing on? I mean, that's the part that just got me. But like Chappelle's version of that song,
made it.
Made it. That was classic.
I'm listening to R. Kelly.
That's classic. So, you listen to Diddy still?
Yeah, I'm done. There's no more. I'm over it. There's
You're over Diddy?
Not even just that. No, I'm over trying to hold people accountable for the stuff that they do as a person. Like
where's Diddy's pardon? Where's R. Kelly's pardon?
R. Kelly need a pardon. Diddy need a pardon. Like everybody needs a pardon.
You can wreck a government building, get out. Why can't you pee on women?
Right.
I'm just saying. Why can't you oil up some people with some baby oil?
It is what it is. But nah, it's just I'm just to a point now to where it's like it's whatever. I like the music. I'm gonna listen to it. If a felon can be president, then I can listen to a felon's music.
Right. I mean, R. Kelly again.
It is what it is.
That dude, his range and the stuff that he was able to do vocally was just insane.
It was. Bro was talented. So even that whole which was crazy in the time, but like I couldn't get enough of it. That Trapped in the Closet series.
So I remember buying the I think it was like 1 through 16, whatever it was on the first DVD.
Set, yeah.
And then he came out with the second one. The second one wasn't as good. I think it kind of pushed it a little too far. Like
I mean, that first one was a stretch too.
It was too, but it was entertaining. That first 12 or whatever it was mad entertaining and it was creative. I just felt like the next 14 through 28 or whatever it was. I was like, all right,
it probably wore thin after that.
I'm kind of over this at this point.
It got cool. Crazy. It got crazy by 12.
Right. So
I can't even imagine what the rest of them.
But I love the cadence. I love the way, he structured the musical, if you will.
Yeah.
And it always end on that the little cliff note, like oh that oh moment, oh,
Yeah.
and then go to the next
Coming to the
episode.
next one. Yeah.
So
No, that's dope.
that was a creative thing, man. That was a creative thing. So
It really was. And I look at I look at it as all of these things that people get caught up in. Like it's all everybody has a traumatic past. And then there's another thing too that I think of, like the talent. I feel like to be that talented, not to say that they didn't have that natural talent to begin with,
right,
but something about that trauma
right,
of life enhances it. Because I mean, would Michael Jackson be what Michael Jackson was without Joe Jackson?
right,
I don't know.
right.
Would
Yeah,
R. Kelly be what R. Kelly been without his childhood? Like these are
inquiring
amazing,
minds would like to know.
amazing artists, amazing creatives,
Yeah,
but that trauma, like it sticks with them, and unfortunately, you end up doing some fucked up shit as an adult. Same thing with Diddy. Like I know Diddy had a traumatic childhood.
I feel like too. It builds to a certain plateau, and you start doing things based on whatever experiences and things like that. And then you get to that certain plateau where you have the fame, the power, the money
That you can get away with it,
that
basically.
you convince yourself that ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
Well, it's not even that. I don't even think that you have to convince yourself. It's like the people around you
That
help
too.
help create that.
Right. It's
Because
yeah.
people see it, people know. You
Yeah.
just don't say anything. You turn a blind eye to it,
And your people's is gonna help you cover whatever you're covering.
right?
So, at that point you just get so complacent that you're just like, this is life.
Right.
So
And then you just take it to the next step, and then before you know it, you're purchasing an island.
well it's like that, if you go into a liquor store, you're a kid and you steal a candy bar, right? And you get away with it. You're like, oh shit, I can get free candy.
Right.
So then you go in there and you do it again. Oh, see, this is easy, and you keep doing it. And then that one day when you get caught and then you get arrested or whatever and all this other stuff, you're like, what the hell happened? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the same thing. You get away with something, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. So I can
What
do
else?
this.
What else can I get away with?
And then you go, I can go back and do this anytime I want. And then you start stretching it. You go, okay, so instead of a candy bar, next time I'm gonna see if I can get a Lunchable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, now let me see if I can get a case of beer out of this place. You know what I'm saying? Like you just keep trying to do a little bit more and keep pushing that until you get to that one person that you shouldn't have messed with, and that turns the tide because now, they bring it up to whatever authorities and
Yeah.
you're
Now there's some
now
accountability.
you're trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get out of this accountability. So, but yeah, I mean it's a lifestyle and it can catch you.
It's crazy.
So, but no, I mean, so let's say R. Kelly never gets out of jail, right? You want to do an AI R. Kelly? What if he writes lyrics that he hands it off to somebody, mails it out? We can
And
do
they
an
do
AI.
AR Kelly.
Now, can AI mimic that dude's cadence and range?
I mean,
It would be impressive.
I feel like it can, only because technology, like they're always trying to push the envelope on technology. So if you can input his whole catalog, I'm sure it can take that and use it to
Right.
mimic that whole.
And especially if you've got the masters where you can isolate the original
Yeah.
vocals, it's going to be able to really map out his
Yeah.
voice. So
It'll be interesting
no
to see.
frequency interference from
Nah,
music.
and I mean, I look at it now too as like anybody who, and this isn't trying to validate anybody's bad behavior, but like if you are that big of an artist
Right.
and you do still have the desire and the ability to make music, you should still be able to do that. But you don't get to profit from it. You don't get to benefit from it. Like anything that or maybe you get a small percentage of it just for as a living.
So what proceeds go
stipend
to
or
the victims
something,
or whatever?
like the proceeds go to the victims,
you.
or they go to some type of philanthropy, like.
That help other
And
victims
I'm
of
not-
similar.
I'm just using this as an example, but like if you, maybe that's a bad example. I ain't gonna use that.
I want to hear it now.
Nah, it's it could go in the wrong direction. So I'm not gonna use that one. But like if you happen to, if you're a thief, if you rob some people,
Right.
DMX, for example, has been known in his interviews to say that he was a stick-up kid. Like he used to
Well, there's that whole
run
Mike
up on
Tyson
people.
story too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like if that is the case and you get hemmed up on those charges, then any profit that you make should go to some victims of
similar crimes.
yeah,
Yeah,
type
got
of
you.
joint.
Got you. But then at the same time too, does the person in that situation lose its motivation? Because some of the motivation behind that drives your talent obviously is monetary gain, right?
Right.
So if if that monetary gain isn't substantial or isn't enough or what they're used to, and you know that you're just giving a large percentage of that away, do you have the motivation and incentive to even do it anymore?
Well, that's
I mean,
up to.
you may love the craft and you may love the music, but at the same time,
That's what I'm saying. That's up to them.
incentive is incentive.
That's up to them. Because
So
there are some people. I know there are some people that make music just for the money, but I know there's some people that make music just for the sake of making music, and whether
sure.
the money was there or not, they would still
Legacy.
make music.
Yeah, legacy.
Andre 3000, for example, like,
Right.
bro, I feel like bro is gonna make music until the day that he dies.
Yeah.
Whether he gets paid for it or not, like just the art of being a creative like that, and just based off of R. Kelly's catalog, like I'm sure there's some incentive there financially, but at the same time, the different genres that he steps into, him doing gospel, him doing movie soundtracks, him doing R&B, him doing hip hop,
Right.
like all of that stuff. Like I can't imagine that he lacks for the desire to make music.
Right. Right.
Like
Agreed.
I feel I put all of this aside, if none of this should ever happen, I feel like he'd still be making music.
Probably.
Now granted, he'd be getting paid generously for it.
Right.
But now, with all, and
I mean, he was one of those artists too. I mean, I can not only doing music, but like dropping albums, featuring on all kinds of other people's stuff. I mean, he was very moldable. I mean, he would
Yeah.
he could get on anything and flip it. So
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, range, talent.
we got R. Kelly and Notorious Big. We got R. Kelly and Fat Joe.
Right.
We got
There's a R. Kelly and T-Pain track.
R. Kelly and
There's
T-Pain.
R. Kelly and Chris Brown.
Man, same girl. The same
Right.
girl.
Right.
Man, that was a whole vibe.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah. So
Can I flip it? Can we flip it?
real R&B though. That's just something that's lacking.
Real R&B, yeah. R&B Money Podcast. You ever seen that one?
I have not.
Yeah, he goes into that a lot. Tank. I
Tank.
think it's Tank.
Tank was one of those. He was on. He's definitely one of those R&B
He gets
artists,
into that a lot. He talks about the
I mean, I remember.
shift.
I remember back in the day, man. It was like Tank was one. He came in like towards the tail end.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Dave Hollisters and the the Keith Sweats, the Gerald Leverts, the R. Kellys,
The Joes.
I mean, the Joes, New Edition for that matter. Like
Case.
I mean, there's a lot of them. The DeBarge.
The Bars. Yeah.
I mean,
That's a lot. But again, I really think it has a lot to do with the influence of the music that you heard growing up.
yeah.
Like
Who was the dude that was on the Big Pun track? There was Donnell Jones. Donnell Jones is one.
Donnell Jones. Another dope one.
Yeah.
Anthony Hamilton.
Anthony Hamilton's fire to this day. Like,
Super dope.
if you see him live too, they put on a great him and the Hamiltons.
Haven't seen him live yet.
Ooh, they put on a great show. Great show.
Yeah, I think the last R&B artist that I really paid attention to, or at least that I can think of right now off the top of my head, was Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
Because I loved his trap soul
Yeah.
vibe. Like it was just, yeah, I couldn't get enough of it.
Jaheim, remember Jaheim?
Jaheim was a dope one.
That was another. You reminded me similar. What you just said too. It's very similar. His style.
Yeah.
I think as of late, I mean, I don't want to necessarily say he's R&B because I think he does a little mixture of some pop and R&B and things like that. But Teddy Swims has put out some stuff here and there that I mean, he had the Lose Control track that really blew him up online. But he has a single right now called "Are You."
Teddy Swims?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out.
It's pretty dope. He's pretty dope. He's got a real he's got one of those like kind of raspy, soulful voices.
Right.
But he's got a little bit of range. He's got a good sound, soulful sound. I think the crazy part is that I've told people about him and they listen to it, and then when they see the video, he doesn't look what people expect. Visually.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have the when you hear him without ever seeing him, you don't attribute his voice to who he is.
Okay.
So, but he's got some solid tracks. So, but that's probably as far as modern day.
Yeah.
There's not that many that aren't out there, going hard on the auto tune and things like that, just singing. And if they are, they're very low key. They're not mainstreaming it. They're not,
Right.
So, but circling back to new music though, Redman.
Dope album.
That album is, I mean, it's like 32 tracks, but like That album is fire, dude. The fact that he brought Superman Lover back, Part 7.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of dope features.
fire. The La 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 track with Meth. I think that's a single. That song is just, that beat comes in and it's just like, oh, this is
Yeah,
Redman. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, it's just, and then he's got there's a song I can't remember the time. It's so new I don't remember all the titles. But it's a song with Faith Evans.
Oh yeah, that was
That's
dope.
super dope.
It was dope to hear her.
And then he's got that throwback track called Do You Miss, or Can You, or Do You, I think it's called Do You Miss?
Uh-huh.
And he's just talking about like all the old, and he ends it with like saying like he's waiting on a album from Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he just talks about like, don't you miss this and don't you miss that? Like,
Yeah.
and just like a throwback to like everything that we had, high school, a little bit after and all that,
Yeah.
that early 2000s, 90s. Song is fire though, but he's got some heat on that album, man. I like that album.
I feel like the 90s was the best generation.
He got a cypher track too. They got Shaq and
Yeah, that had everybody
Shaq,
on
Queen
it.
Latifah, I think the Artifacts, Naughty by Nature. Yeah, there's a bunch of people on that track, man.
That one
I
had
think
everybody
Heather
on
B
it.
is on there, and yeah, I was like, this is fire.
That's what I like to see. I'd like
Redman.
it would be, because one of the things musically that I appreciated about the 90s, it seemed, and I guess because it was such a small genre at the time, but like everybody knew everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was all rappers knew all rappers. So
Yeah.
to see a music video from
It was a fraternity. I
yeah,
mean, straight up.
basically, to see a music video from Fat Joe, but you see like every
All the
artist
people
and
in
their mom in it. It was like, that was just a dope. Like I love seeing cameos.
Exhibit. What you see is what you get. Like that video.
That video,
How many
yeah.
people were in that video where he was walking through everywhere?
So I remember Razkaz was in that.
Razkaz. There's a lot of people.
Alcoholics was in it.
Yeah, Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, there was a lot of people in that
Yeah.
video, man. So
I love seeing them cameos.
That video, that's one of my favorite videos too. Like there's certain videos that like
what
creativity, even though it's I don't want to say that was simple. It was simple in the sense that he's just walking through areas.
I mean,
but the transitions and the stuff that was going on in the background was just so fire.
I would have never, I guess from that point of view, you could call it simple. I would have never called that simple.
It's not simple. It's not simple in the. I don't mean it like, oh, it's a simple video, because there's simple videos where there's somebody just rapping in front of a brick wall and calling it a day.
Simple in the fact of it's just him walking down the street.
It feels like it's a single shot, and
Yeah.
and because they do a fantastic job of transitioning to different shots, and then just all the abstract stuff happening in the background, as he's walking. It's just so dope, dude. And then he walks through the club, he hits the stage and walks right out, and dudes are busting through the windows, stealing the TVs, and
yeah.
I mean,
That's a video that's worth watching multiple times, because you can see
the people.
You see different things. You pick up on different things every time you watch it.
He's got a bunch of videos like Paparazzi, man. Like that
Right.
video, like with the symphony out on the beach, and there's just certain videos that just stick in my head.
Yeah.
Another video that's still to this day probably one of my favorite ever is Far Side Drop.
Classic.
With the whole thing's backwards.
Classic.
They had to learn to lip sync backwards.
Can't forget that one.
That movie. That
video.
That video is so dope, dude. Like, the Roots Next Movement video, which
Iconic
Kendrick actually
videos.
pulled some inspiration from.
Yeah.
But that's just the iconic video, man. It's just so. And again, I say simple because it's single shot, curtains opening, curtains closing.
Yeah.
And things are changing, but it's so creative, and there is some complexity behind it, but it's so creative. But yeah,
it really is.
There's videos out there. I mean, and I'm not even gonna name them all because there's too many. But Busta always had
too many epic videos.
Yeah,
give me some more.
There's just too many. Dangerous.
How? Go down
put my hands where I can see. Yeah. Flip mode is the greatest.
Flip mode's the greatest.
Yeah, but put your hands where I can see. When that first video came out, doom.
Mm-hmm. Just iconic moments from those videos. Alicia's, oh my God, Aaliyah's Rock the Boat.
Right.
Iconic videos. Like you just
can't.
4-page letter. Missy Elliott's
Can't Stand the Rain.
Like these are
that Rain video to this day. I mean, people still use that as a Halloween costume.
Right.
You see people like trying to inflate trash bags to like.
Yeah.
That just. I mean, another one that Missy did that I think is. For me, I feel like it's underrated, but the one with the brat, the
Sock It To Me.
Sock It To Me, doom.
Yeah,
that like where they're it looked like
that was like video
what
gamey.
was it called? Was it Mega Man?
Yeah,
Mega. It
Mega
felt like
Man.
that. Mega
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That video was fire.
Super dope.
Um,
The brat herself, the brat.
Functified.
See, I don't feel like she gets the accolades that she deserves.
So
Funkified. That whole, her and Jermaine Dupri together, like that was a dynamic duo. Her flows over his beats, like that shit was just dope. That Funkified album was fire.
I mean, the song with Big.
I know it, but I can't.
That's the one where it had everybody walking around going, "Baby, baby, lay on."
Oh
back.
yeah. Listen to the B-sides.
Yeah. Baby,
Yeah.
baby.
Nah, for real. It was just we can't. I don't know if music can ever, and maybe just for our generation, it can't ever feel like that again. Like maybe these new kids, as they're finding their musical vibe, like they have that with their, their Travis Scotts and all of that stuff like that. But
it's a trip too, and we've talked about this. It's just a trip how it triggers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if that same feeling that we got is the same feeling with those.
Yeah. Now I can't say I do get that feeling every now and then when I hear a new artist coming up.
Right.
Audio Push.
Right.
Was one.
There's some.
I stumbled across them in 2015 and like hearing, and it wasn't even, it was a freestyle that I heard from them.
But not just that, but they don't have that. I don't want to call it the modern sound, but they sounded like they were from the early 2000s.
They did. But they were very,
and it was dope. It was dope. No, so I hear what you're saying.
It was very like old school influence.
Yeah,
but
it was dope.
But they're younger. You know, it was new music. It was 2015 when I stumbled across them, and I went down this rabbit hole of like, who the hell are these kids?
Well, it's like what is that group? That's like, I think it's like Razkaz's son and all them. Like, was it Coaster?
Contra Coaster or something like that. Yeah,
they're fire.
Yeah, they sound like they're straight out of the 80s and 90s.
They're fire. I mean, that whole, like, there's not a member in that group that I would say is the weak member. They're fire. Like
that's like Wu-Tang reincarnated.
I was turned on to them obviously by some social media. That the same one that everybody was put on, where they were sitting around the table doing their thing. And from that point, I was like, nope, let me go look these out. And I got tracks in the playlist now.
All right, hold on. Now that has me thinking about Fushnikins.
Ooh. Fushnikins.
Which is crazy because I couldn't understand half of what they were saying, but at the same time, it was like I couldn't stop listening.
I saw a putty cat. I did the Humpty Dumpty. What's up,
Doc?
Underground something. I remember all the words.
Can we rock? What's up, Doc?
I'm the hooper, the hyper, protective viper. Yeah. Hey.
Man, Shaq was one of the few. All right, shout out.
So, like, real quick, Fushnikins.
Yeah.
Breakdown. I'm sorry.
The flow will break you down.
That beat. The flow will break you down. The flow will break you down. Oh, my God. The Fushnikins was fire. That bass. Oh, man. They had some heat.
That whole album was dope.
Yeah.
That whole album
I still own it on CD.
I got it too.
So,
but like Shaq, another, and not Shaq is another artist who, as a basketball player, has a great discography.
He does.
Like he really has he did
a song with Big.
He did a song with Big.
Song with Common and them.
He got a song with Common. He got the song with Fushnikins.
Fushnikins, of course.
Like Shaq has a banger catalog. Like he can actually rap.
And I'm sorry that song he did with Peter Guns and them. I love playing on the west side, even though I miss playing on the east side.
Yeah.
As long as y'all got my back, then it's over.
And that's
a banger.
What's crazy about that time is when I think about it, it seemed like there was a lot of basketball players that wanted to be rappers, and there was a lot of rappers that wanted to be ballers.
This is facts.
So the crossover was Cedric Ceballos. You remember Cedric Ceballos?
Yeah, Cedric Ceballos. He had a song with Warren G.
Float on.
That was the one with Warren G, right?
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Telling you, bro. Like, who's doing that now? Like, it's not the same anymore.
Cedric Ceballos. I do remember that. It was Warren G
anymore.
So, but Shaq, Shaq has a catalog, man. He's platinum. He's gone platinum.
Yeah.
So, but he got a catalog.
You can't stop the rain. Yeah, Shaq is dope. All around great entertainer, baller, musician, rapper, actor.
And he got into that little diss battle with Dame.
I missed that.
with Dame Lillard. Like they had like a little back and forth. They was dropping little diss tracks.
I missed that.
It was entertainment purposes. You know, they had their convo. They had some fun with it. It was dope. Dame got bars. He got that song Kobe. That's dope. Him and Snoop Dogg.
I gotta check that out.
It's actually dope. So
send me the link later.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'll send you all the hoopers who be rapping.
For real.
There's a lot more now.
Put a mixtape together.
I mean, D'Angelo Ball got that one that's going viral right now.
Oh, that's right. I heard about
Brothers.
that. Yeah.
It sounds like a 1998 Master P track.
Okay. Bringing back the Dirty South.
So it has that kind of vibe.
Has that No Limit vibe to it.
Don't make me bend a corner. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Creeping up on you, bending corners. KD. What happened to KD?
KD.
KD, baby.
That's another one. See,
I miss KD. KD, we need some music.
I love the fact that, I mean, we've touched on this many times, but I do love the fact. Oh, you got one.
Go ahead.
You got one.
I just thought of somebody else who's either it dropped. I haven't kept up on it. Either it dropped or is dropping. Richie Rich.
I did hear he was doing something.
Like, I know he's been doing music with La Russell up in the Bay.
Yeah,
but
there's a video out where he's rapping on.
He's doing his own. He's doing his own project.
There's one with Tretch too, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw something where Tretch was doing something.
That'll be dope. I love me some Tretch.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, but I thought something about that made me think. We were talking all this West Coast, made me think about Richie Rich.
Nah, I was just about to say, like, the amount of music that I've absorbed, and I know it's a lot of hip hop, but I do listen to a lot of
other genres.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on my mood. Like, there's times where I'm cleaning the house and I just throw some smooth jazz on and just vibe because, you know, you kind of zone out, relax.
Right.
You know, but I grew up listening to oldies, rock and roll, Motown. So I listen to a lot of just, you know, I listen to rock, metal, hip hop. I don't listen to a lot of country. I don't listen to a lot of pop per se. But it's just crazy now that when I'm out and I'm having conversations with people, somebody will say a term or something, and it immediately there's a song related. You know what I mean? It's a trigger. It's either that or a movie quote.
Yeah.
But something is always triggering, and I'm just like, and they'll say something, and the earworm will just go right into my brain, and now I'm in my head. You're talking.
You're doing the whole,
I don't know what you're saying, but in my head, I'm singing
out.
whatever you just said, and then I go, "What were you saying?"
Nah, it's one of the things. That show Scrubs. You ever watch Scrubs?
I did watch a little bit of it.
That was one of the things that I appreciated about that show. Even though the main character JD was kind of a ditz,
right?
But like when he would zone out, I was like, yeah, that's me all day.
Yeah.
Somebody will say something, and in my head, there's a jingle, there's
something,
there's a movie quote,
there's something.
Samsonite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It doesn't take much to trigger it.
Well, like I remember, I remember. I mean, I can remember so many occasions, but yeah, it's like people will just say something, and like I want to blurt it out in their face, but I don't want to come off like an ass, just like interrupted with something that's irrelevant.
What does an interrupting cow say?
Right. so I have to hold it in, and the problem with holding it is I hear it over their conversation. I hear my
that inner monologue. Yeah.
And then I have to go.
Damn it.
And they're talking. It could be at work, right? They're talking something super important. I'm like, repeat that one more time.
Okay, just to make sure we're on the same page.
Don't say this part though. I got that because if you say this, it's gonna.
It'll trigger my earworm again.
So, but yeah, I mean, the earworms are.
I don't know.
I have an infestation.
I feel like that might have something to do with some undiagnosed ADHD or ADD
there's got to
be
a medical term for it.
Something.
Maybe we need to invent a medical term for it.
That'll be crazy because I know everybody doesn't experience that.
Or do they?
Hey, let us know if you do or don't. Because
earworms are a thing for me.
That definitely happens. I used to get in trouble.
I think everybody gets earworms. I think
I know, but
I think that's
point,
why there's a term called earworms. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's to the point where it's triggered off of just conversation pieces or talking points.
Yeah,
they can just that's it. Because I could have 12 earworms a day.
Like anytime somebody says I feel like, I hear Kanye. I feel like Pablo, you know, like that's, and then for the next 2 minutes, that's all that I'm hearing in my head.
Since we're going to talk about Kanye, whenever someone says, man, I only got 2 words for it, I go to him and Freeway and them. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, everything, you know, the other day, somebody was talking, we were talking about movies and stuff, and they were talking about like, why haven't they done like a modern RoboCop movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've remade so many different movies. Why is there not a new RoboCop, right? And the second they said that, I don't know what triggered it, but there's the Kanye song, I've been on that
like a
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Cause I don't want no RoboCop.
Yeah.
And so like they're talking about RoboCop now, and my head is playing that song. I have no idea what they said. I didn't even ask. I knew they were talking about why isn't there a remake. That's all. But all the points that they were making was zeroed out.
Yeah.
And when they were done, I was like, yeah, they should probably do something. I don't know. It's just
it
but
happens.
It's the earworms, man.
It happens
It's
so
the
many
earworms.
times.
But you know,
Yeah. Like
that's
when
just-
I hear summertime, and it's
summertime.
it's a fight because that one is the
And
number
LV.
is the primary default. Well, no, my other one
Summertime in the
is the LBC.
LBC.
Yeah, that's the other one that comes up.
Yeah. That,
Coming from a city with no
was
pity
that,
is
that
shown.
that wasn't LV, was it?
Nah, that was LBC crew.
LBC crew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Summertime.
And then when I
in
think
the
of LBC crew, it
LV.
makes me think of Thin Line Between Love and Hate because
Right.
they were on that soundtrack.
And that's the thing is the earworms will just
it keeps going.
It just it's like they're touching now.
It's like
I have an infestation, so they each worm touches the next.
I'm infested. It's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
right. Yeah, I mean,
I can get everything back to Warren G somehow.
right. Warren G. See, and we started with Warren G on here with the
and now we're back to
Balas,
there we go.
We just cycled right
Full
back.
circle. There goes that
G-Funk
7
era.
degrees. Mr. Grimm.
Right.
Woo!
Space Katir.
Right?
I'm in the house, baby.
Is that the same person? Is Warren G and Mr. Grimm the same person?
You've asked that.
I still haven't got an answer yet.
You've asked that.
That earworm never leaves. It's there. It's always there. He's hanging in the back, waiting for his opportunity to ask that question. Nobody's been able to.
Talk about Mr. Grimm.
I don't know. Love
Hey.
that song though.
Damn.
But that was before I knew anything about what weed was.
Earworms. Earworms are. Yeah, and that's something that's not contagious. You can't catch an earworm from somebody else over something. Like you can have an earworm, but it's not like I have to. Because there's times I'm sure, like right now for that summertime example, I'm sure that somebody say summertime, and I might go summer, and you're in there going summertime. in the
Different
air.
earworms, yeah.
So I mean, so there's no contagious. It's independent. So it's an isolated disease.
I mean, yeah. Also, I mean, I get that, but also
it's
it is
very,
a shared.
It's very welcomed for me though. I love it.
But it's like if you start hearing the drum beat from "Never Gonna Give You Up,"
Right.
Like I know everybody.
You about to get Rick rolled? No, I mean, and that's
Man, there was of course I can't think of it now because I only heard it like one time, but there was an artist who used that as a sample. Like he sampled that on his beat.
Okay.
And I was fascinated and appalled at the same time. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to get this out of my head.
So
for
he
the next...
he Rick rolled you on his song.
Yeah.
So
it was crazy.
I just love that it became a thing to get Rick rolled, and as the
People
internet's
went-
grown,
People went through crazy lengths to Rick roll you too.
That's just. I used to try to prank people and get people. I ain't gonna lie. I mean,
It's never my thing.
I always thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, that's definitely an earworm. And it's funny because you'll be in a store and they'll be playing that, and you just like somebody.
I wanna start doing the dance.
Somebody getting Rick rolled right now.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, if you do
Yeah.
the dance, let me move the desk
I'm not doing it now.
and let's get it on the show.
I'll just dance in my head.
Dancing with CYRT.
CYRT. The CYRT dance battles.
So
Gonna have a dance off. Looking like oh damn. Drawing a blank.
Kid and Play.
Nah.
Oh,
Thinking I hear Fat Man Scoop in my head. The old
Fat Man Scoop.
Crooked Clan, the old dance movies. I want to say Set It Off. It wasn't Set It Off. It was, dude. Why can't I think of that movie? Chris Brown was in it. Like they had the dance. You got served. You're just gonna sit there and let me struggle through that whole thing.
Yeah.
That's cold. That's cold.
You got served.
What kind of friend are you? I'm taking you out the will.
You got a friend in me. let's just go with the earworm triggers. I went right into earworm.
What's going on? I see you trying to fight it.
No, I'm here. Toy Story, dude. Like it's like
You got a friend. The meme with the
yeah.
I like that shirt.
Wu-Tang forever.
Wu-Tang love the
Do you,
kid.
do you want to bust the flow here? I got the karaoke lyrics.
No, I'm all right. Anytime I sing that song, I only do the first. I bomb atomically. Like I don't go any further past that.
Classic.
I'm gonna let you do that.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I seen it, I was like, well, that's gonna get bought.
But like that's one of those. And now I'm going down a train of thought here. That's one of those songs that, and again, I don't know if everybody does this. For me, there's certain songs where I don't need to hear anywhere
2
from like
seconds.
1 to 3
Yeah.
seconds into the song.
Yes.
I already know what it is. That's one of them.
Yeah, we should bring that. We should have a segment on the show. We should talk about that one day,
Ooh,
where we just like what are songs that like a couple notes and you're like boom.
I know what it is off the top of my head.
I mean, like immediately in my brain shook once. Immediately.
That's a good one.
Immediately.
Baby Got Back comes to mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of them I could fire off, I'm sure, but we're closing in on our time here, but I think we need to have that. We need to bring maybe episode 3.
We'll do that. We'll
next
bring that
week.
up next time. Yeah.
Next week we have to because there's a lot of them where like they're just so undeniably classic that when you hear that just the mere intro, the mere first note, sometimes
That's
you're just
all
like,
you need.
oh,
Yeah. As soon as you hear that first note,
and you catch a vibe. It
and you know it.
just super impact.
I used to get, going back to talking about music and earworms and stuff, in boot camp. I used to get lit up all the time because there's no music. Like, you don't have anything. You're just
Right.
there. But I always have music in my head. So every now and then I'll be bopping to a beat that's in my head.
Right.
There's no bopping in boot camp.
Right. right.
There's
Stand
no
at
bopping.
attention, fool.
There's no bopping in boot camp.
You sit there at attention, you start going.
Next thing I know, I'm getting like, and I'm so in the zone listening to this song, like enjoying the song that's in my head, and then they come out of nowhere. It's like, oh damn, I forgot where I was.
So yeah, what happened was there was a song,
And they don't want to
They don't wanna hear
it. See you later on the quarter deck. Yes, sir.
They hit you with the full drill sergeant mode,
They hit me with the he.
right?
Telling
Hit you with
you,
the
man.
he.
Earworms for days. Trigger warnings.
Then that's what we'll do. We'll do a small segment. Maybe we'll bring it up from time to time. We'll call it earworms.
Oh, I like that.
Earworms.
Yeah, great
'Cause-
segment. Trademark pending. Patent pending.
Patent pending.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Carl Jr.
I'm thinking of. Well, I was thinking of.
Earworms. Brought to you by Carl Jr. Why do you keep saying that?
I was thinking of. Of course, I can't remember it now. It's not it's the Austin Powers guy. Now I have so many movies running through my head right now where he's the guru. He's like a guru.
Oh right, it's called Guru. Yeah.
It's literally called Guru.
It's called Guru. Right.
Okay, well,
It
that's
was
why I can't think of it.
semi terrible movie. It had Mini Me in it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the hockey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Patent pending.
Justin Timberlake was in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacre bleu.
Not a fantastic film, but yeah, I did see that.
GURU. Patent pending.
Patent pending.
Yeah.
So, well,
I think we've reached that.
till next week. Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that? Can you reach that? Brought to you by Double One Entertainment in Coopersville. Hosted by Tango and Coop. And created and edited by Tim Greenlee and Brandon Adolphus. Music, sound design, and editing by Michael B. That's me. Visual art and graphic design by Jonathan Greenlee. Additional visual design by Timothy Greenlee.